As Prime Days come to a close here in the UK, yes, I did call them days because Prime Day was across 2 days for whatever unknown reason. I suspect it's because Amazon's CEO Jeff Bezos really likes his money. Anyway, during this period there were a ton of tech deals and I picked up a few myself. But today we're going to be taking a look at this. The Ritchie 4D V4 drone by 4DRC. This drone was ridiculously cheap. It was meant to be like £75. They said that it was going to be £32 for this lightning deal. So I kind of just had to pick it up. I'm really intrigued to see just how much drone you get for £34. And let's be honest, who doesn't like a good toy drone? So today we're going to be unboxing it, taking it on its maiden voyage and finding out, was it worth buying a drone for just £34? Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is Review Clue. So yeah, this drone was dirt cheap. I really do not expect a lot out of it, but what it will be is my first ever drone. So I'm going to be looking at this as if this is my first drone because it is. So the main key factors that I'm looking for here is ease of use, battery life, looks, and a little bit of that camera. Now this claims to have a 1080p camera on board, but whether it does or not, we will find out. Let's take it over to the table, get it unboxed, and find out exactly what we get for our £32. So here we are with the box. It's a pretty nondescript box, but as we go ahead and open it up, we see a nice little carry case. And this was actually really pleasant to see. I'm going to take this box out of the way so we can just take a look at this case. It's really nice to see this coming in a little carry case. It's quite a thin case, it's not hard shell or anything, so it probably wouldn't be doing much protecting, but it's just nice to see that it does come in one. And as we go ahead and unzip here, we should see the contents. So we see a couple of main things here, but we're going to start off at the top with some of the accessories and paperwork. So we've obviously got all of the normal paperwork and the instruction manual. Now, I suspect I will probably want to read this instruction manual, mainly because this is my first drone. I've never really flown one before, and I'm still getting used to the controls. So it's got nice diagrams for each of the controls and how it works, and also how to connect this up to your phone. As this is Wi-Fi enabled, you can connect it up and you can see through the lens. But we also have a box of accessories here. Let's have a look and see what we get here. Obviously we get a micro USB cable. This is probably for charging batteries. Obviously for the very little money that I paid, I'm not particularly disappointed that it's USB-C. It would have been nice to see it, but a micro USB works just as well. We have a screwdriver. I'm not entirely sure what the screwdriver is for right now. We'll take a look at that later maybe. What appears to be bumpers. Yeah, so we got some bumpers for the sides of the drone, so if we're flying this indoors, it's not going to catch people or objects around our house. That's pretty cool. And I'm not going to get them out, but it looks like we also have some spare propellers in there as well, in case any of the propellers break. Let's go ahead and start in the middle with what appears to be 2 batteries. These batteries are pretty small and very lightweight, and I think that's going to be a running theme here. This whole bag and box is very, very lightweight. So we've got 2 of them there, and having a look around the battery, we see the little charging port on one side, and that's basically it. So they just plug straight into the drone. I'll show you that in a second, but let's get the controller out and have a look at that. So we've got 2 sticks that we can use, so I suspect that this is flying up and down, and this is to move in that direction. We also have the rotation and forwards and backwards as well. We've got a couple of buttons along the bottom here for different things. For example, auto takeoff and auto landing, calibration, and we've got 2 triggers as well. One to do tricks and one to set the speed. So this has 3 different speed levels, I believe. But let's go ahead and pop that back in the box and take out the actual drone itself. Now, of course, this isn't what the drone will actually look like when it's flying. This is all hidden away and tucked away, ready for storage. Along the bottom, we see one of those cameras there, and that is for the sensor. So it knows how far it is from the ground, and it can actually just continue to stay at that height that you set, which is pretty cool. We have a place for the battery in the back here, so let's go ahead and just pop one of those batteries in. And there we go. So that is in and that is ready. What we can go ahead and do next is just open up wing by wing, just to show you the size of this drone. I have opened that wrong. There we go. Just to show you the size of this drone. That is it against the palm of my hand. It is a fairly long and wide drone. I do quite like the way it looks. It looks very much like the Mavic Mini, which is one of DJI's drones. But yeah, overall, I don't think it's a bad design. So on the front, we can see that camera there. That is a 1080p camera, they say. And it also has lights on the front, 2 white lights. And if we turn it around, there is 1 red light on the back as well to help us decide when we are in the correct orientation. So we can go ahead and just power it on the top here. And we can see the lights are flashing, which means that it's ready to be paired. So I'm going to actually move this bag out of the way, and we can go ahead and get the controller paired with the drone. So what's nice about this controller as well is we can lift up here, and we have a space to put our mobile phone for when we want to connect it up and view through the camera. But I'm just going to close that down for now, power on the controller. It's giving me 2 beeps, and I just move up and down. And you'll notice that the lights on the drone have stopped flashing. This means that it is ready to fly. But before we do that, I would also like to calibrate it in its horizontal position. So we're just going to hold down that button. And we heard that audible beep and we saw the lights flashing. This means it is now fully calibrated and ready to go. Now, of course, I'm not going to set it off right here because it's just going to fly straight up into the camera. So let's move into my kitchen where I've at least got a little bit of a bigger space. And let's see if we can get this thing flying. Okay, so the drone is pretty much all ready to go. We can see it down on the floor with its lovely flashing lights. To actually sync this up, it's really simple. We're just powering on the remote, and we're going to see the flashing light on the remote here, pushing up and then down on the stick. We are now paired. As we can see, the lights have stopped on the drone as well, but we're going to want to calibrate. So we're going to hold down the bottom button until we hear that long beep, and we are now all calibrated. Now it's as simple as pressing this button to get it to fly up off of the ground and to be ready. So pressing down brings the drone up and ready to fly. So we can also just get it to sit here in the air. If we find it's drifting a little, we do have buttons to help stop this drift. Okay, so I've been playing with this thing for about half an hour, and I've just about got through both of the batteries, which I would say is pretty impressive. This rivals many of the other drones on the market in terms of its battery life, and I had so much fun actually using this thing as well. I felt like I had control of this drone throughout my whole experience this evening inside the house, which is even more impressive. Taking this outside, however, is a slightly different story. The more wind there is, the harder this thing is to control, and it got to a point where I just had to say I need to stop because I had no control over this drone whatsoever in the wind. It just kind of did its own thing, which obviously with a drone you don't particularly want to do. So for an indoor drone, I would say this is pretty good. If you have enough space, it is really fun and really easy to learn as well. In terms of that camera on the front, the camera quality is negligible. It is, I don't even think I would say it's passable. It does not look particularly great at all. But for £33, if you were expecting good camera quality, you would spend a little bit more money than this. At the end of the day, this is a toy, and it is a really, really fun toy. For the £33 that I paid for it, I think this is one of my best purchases to date in terms of toys because I've had so much fun with this thing, it's unbelievable. So what do you guys think about this kind of drone? Do you think you would spend £33 on a beginner first time learner drone? Or would you go ahead and jump in at the deep end and maybe buy something a little more expensive? Let me know in the comment section down below, and of course while you're down there, get subscribed, hit that bell notification icon if you haven't already. It helps me out a ton. And if you like this hoodie that I'm wearing here, you can also buy one of these as well. This is my Kawaii console merch. I've decided that I wanted to create a little bit of merch that was a little bit of fun as well, and these are designs that I've created myself. It took a very long time to decide what kind of consoles I wanted to turn into these cute kawaii characters. For the first 100 people who go down there and buy one of these, you will also be receiving a free gift worth £15. That is super exciting, so if you want to get in on this, then head down there to clue.world and buy yourself one of the Kawaii console hoodies. Anyway guys, my name has been Robert, this has been Review Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.